Hi, we're back, or I'm back with Unfinished Business, and I have missed you as much as you guys have missed me. I have decided to talk about something the cinephiles talked about, but maybe you didn't hear me talk about, which is Stanley Kubrick's greatest hits. I have listed 9 Stanley Kubrick movies from the one I like the least to the one I like the most. Now, first of all, Stanley Kubrick is a great master director and one of my favorite directors of all time. So, without further ado, let me start. Number 9, which is Eyes Wide Shut. Now, it is a great film to look at, and it is the last classic from a master, but I do not like the acting from Tom Cruise or Nicole Kidman in the film. But it has great cinematography, and there are just certain scenes of great brilliance, but I can't say that, I loved it as a whole. Paths of Glory. It's a great anti-war film, shot in beautiful black and white. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Maybe it's because it was built up over the years. I'm expecting this great masterpiece, and what I got was a good film, but the cinematography went in the foxhole, and it's passing all the soldiers in there. That is one of the most beautiful shots I have ever seen in my life. Number 7, Lolita. Now, I have never read the book. I've made many attempts to read the book. I had unfortunately seen the Adrian Lyne version first, which is more of a sexualized version of the book. Seeing the Stanley Kubrick version, it's great because it's more of a black comedic version than anything else, and it is just like one of the great dark comedies of all time. Peter Sellers play Quilty. It's just a great dramatic role and a great comedic role, and it's just brilliant. And it was one of my first ever James Mason films, so just hearing his voice, I can't really do a great impression of, but the way he speaks, it's just fascinating. Don't mind my energy here. I am on Red Bull. Number 6, Dr. Strangelove. I love this film just for its satire, its dark comedy. All-star cast. You have Peter Sellers, George C. Scott. Peter Sellers playing more than one role. He makes such creative, comedic, but full characters that are distinct into themselves. You have to give it to Stanley Kubrick. For a man who's known for making impersonal and certainly cold films, it's nice to see him bring some humor into what was then something that was very serious, the whole Cold War, nuclear war. I can never do it justice with my accolades. Still funny to this day. I know some of you might be put off because some of you don't like black and white films. And if you don't like black and white or classic films, I find you saying that you are a true film lover a little hard to believe. Number 5, The Killing. One of the things that I marvel at is that there is a side subplot story of a woman who is, of course, since this is a film noir tale, who is using this guy, but also clues her boyfriend into the tale. And once he finds out he's been betrayed, just the drama that plays off on his face, it is just so breathtaking but so heartbreaking. And it's just one of those great, robbery and film noir tales. Now we come to number 4, The Shining. Probably one of the more popular films that most of you have seen. It's truly chilling. There are just so many inspiring set pieces. The location design of the film. And then if you ever watch the making of, the way he tortured Shelley Duvall. But I think it paid off because it got the performance he got out of her. And Jack Nicholson, who he seems simpatico with, just truly, he goes over the top, but you at least get to see how he got to where he gets to. It's basically, as one critic said, it's basically a movie about a guy who hates his family and slowly goes crazy and reveals his true colors. Number 3, 2001: A Space Odyssey. I'm not going to say I get this film, but it is a sight to behold. Just the technology, the filmmaking technique. As you know, I am not a big sci-fi fan, but I just watched this film and I was like, holy shit, what did I just watch? Mind you, I was sober watching this. Trust me, it is definitely a film you will never forget if you see it. And if you can see it on the big screen, that's even another added bonus. Number 2, Full Metal Jacket. This is the first Stanley Kubrick movie I have ever seen. This was a war film that I had never seen anything like before, because you go through boot camp and the dramas and perils of that, and just the horror and how it can kill a soul or make a man go crazy, and introduced me to the character actor R. Lee Ermey and Vincent D'Onofrio. Originally was set to star Anthony Michael Hall, but he dropped out last minute and was replaced by Matthew Modine. And this is probably one of the few films I can say that I really felt Matthew Modine was truly noteworthy in. I mean, he's another cog in the machine. The whole cast is great. And you even get a peek of not only the American side, but what it was like for the Vietnamese people during this war. And the funny thing is, this is all filmed in England. We come to number one. A Clockwork Orange. I have never read the book. When I first saw this film, it greatly disturbed me because you see such horrific acts. It got to me in a mental place. I'm not going to say I enjoyed what I was seeing, but I liked the film. I do not like seeing rape in movies. If it has to be in there, I like it alluded to, or more the aftermath. And this film shows it in all its disgusting glory. And while it's happening, you have the character who's doing it singing such a classic family song, Singing in the Rain. But it's a movie I've watched over the years, and the more I watch it, the more I notice, and the more I just sit awestruck watching it, because I notice just the power of the filmmaking that went on behind it, the amazing source material. It's an amazing film that you have to see. I'm sorry, I need my notes. I'm getting older. If you have not seen any of these films, you need to rush out and go see them all as soon as you can. Stanley Kubrick is a master, and just hearing about his life in general, if you really want to do further research reading his book, they even have a to Z encyclopedia on him, and I highly recommend seeing it. There's much more to say about him, but unfortunately, I only have a certain amount of time. That ends this week's Unfinished Business, but we have plenty more unfinished business in the future. But before I go, I have to ask you this, and I'm going to keep it, sorry. Have you seen Scott Pilgrim? Because if not, you should, because it's awesome. I will see you next time, where we will discuss more unfinished business.